Here's a disturbing truth about human psychology that could literally save your life. When you're in danger surrounded by a crowd, you are statistically less likely to get help than if you were alone with just one stranger. This sounds insane, but it's one of the most replicated findings in all of psychology. It's called the bystander effect, and it has let people die on busy streets while dozens of people watched and did nothing. In 1964, a woman named Kitty Genovese was stabbed to death outside her apartment in New York City over the course of 35 minutes. Initial reports claimed 38 witnesses saw or heard the attack and not one called the police. While later investigations revised some of those details, the case launched decades of research that changed how we understand human behavior forever. Psychologists John Darley and Bibb Latané ran their first experiment in 1968 at Columbia University. They had participants sit alone or in groups and then piped fake smoke into the room to simulate an emergency. When people were alone, 75% reported the smoke within 2 minutes. When they were in groups of 3, only 38% reported it, and many sat there doing nothing for the full 6 minutes even as the room filled with smoke. Why does this happen? 2 psychological mechanisms are at work simultaneously. The first is called diffusion of responsibility. When multiple people witness an emergency, each individual person feels less personally responsible to act. You unconsciously assume someone else will handle it. The more people present, the smaller your perceived share of the responsibility becomes, until it effectively reaches 0. The second mechanism is called pluralistic ignorance. You look around at other bystanders to figure out how serious the situation is. They're all doing the same thing, looking calm, not reacting. So you conclude maybe this isn't actually an emergency. Everyone is performing calmness for everyone else, and collectively you all decide to do nothing even as someone is genuinely suffering. A 2011 meta-analysis published in Psychological Bulletin reviewed 105 studies across 50 years involving over 7,700 participants and confirmed the bystander effect is real, consistent, and cross-cultural. It exists in Japan, Germany, Brazil, and across dozens of other nations. Research from the University of Copenhagen in 2019 using real CCTV footage from actual emergencies across 3 countries found that in 90% of real public emergencies, at least one bystander did intervene. But they also confirmed that the larger the crowd, the longer the delay before anyone acted. Every additional bystander added measurable seconds of hesitation. Now here's what you actually need to know to protect yourself. If you are ever in an emergency in a crowd, do not shout for help generally. That activates the bystander effect immediately. Instead, point directly at one specific person. Make eye contact. Say you, the person in the red jacket, call 911 right now. The moment you assign personal responsibility to one individual, you collapse the diffusion effect entirely. Studies show this single tactic can increase intervention rates by over 60%. You should also know this about yourself. You are not immune to the bystander effect. Research shows that even people who know about it, even psychology students who just finished studying it, still show reduced intervention in group settings. Awareness helps, but it doesn't eliminate the bias. The only real defense is deliberate, conscious action. When you see something that might be an emergency, override your social calibration instinct. Assume you are the one responsible. Act before you look around. Because while you're waiting for someone else to step up, so is everyone else in that crowd.